Thank you for your patience. Appreciate it. Come on in. We got stuff all over the house.
So once we enter the house, I head over into the garage. A lot of times I'll kind of find the garage and see if there's anything in there. Sometimes I look for like power tools for myself or other tools, things like that. But I come over here and I find this Ryobi flashlight. And I just got my mom like the Ryobi kit. So I was like, oh, it doesn't have the battery, but you know, my mom might like that. It probably goes with her set. So I picked it up. It was only $1. And then I see this chest over here, this like wooden chest. And I've seen something similar like this. It's kind of lined with red velvet. You could put little things in it. But the handles had like lions on it. And I don't know, I just thought it was cool. It was kind of unique. It was only $3. I didn't end up picking it up, but I thought it was just really cool. So then I head over into the bathroom. I'm kind of waiting for this lady to get done. But I'm kind of peering in there. And I'm kind of waiting, seeing if there's any like older perfume or things like that. Some toiletry items can be worth a lot of money, especially like older vintage perfume. Didn't see anything, so I headed out of there. Then I head over to this table and I'm kind of looking at this camera. It looked older, so I'm kind of checking it out. There's the number right there. But I look it up on my phone. It's not really worth anything, so I decided to put that back. Then I go outside, and oftentimes, especially when they have pools, I go outside, I see if they have any like outdoor sheds that they might be trying to get rid of, or like chlorine tablets, or you know, the chlorine buckets that hold the chlorine. For me personally, and so I'm kind of looking around, and then I see this little storage shed there, and put the tag on it says not for sale. So that was unfortunate. I was a little bummed out about that.
What would you call this?
Pewter.
Why don't you look that up?
So Stacy was looking at these pewter bookends. They're like palm trees. So she tells me, why don't you take a look at that, look it up. So a lot of times that's what we do. Like, we don't know everything. So if we see something that's kind of unique or just something different that we don't see all the time, we'll just, get our phones out and, look on the eBay app, check sold listings, and try to find that certain item. So I looked this one up and there wasn't really any value there. So I decided to leave it. So as we're making our way through this garage sale, I noticed that they have these 2 sets of china over here. They were priced a little bit high. They were asking $20 a piece for them. High for me to get into. So I tried to take a look and see if they were worth anything, but they weren't really worth that much. Right there to the left, you can see that pull-up bar. So a lot of workout equipment goes for a lot of money right now, especially with everything going on, like dumbbells or pull-up bars. I sold that exact pull-up bar back a few months ago, and I want to say I got like $30 for it. So if you can find a pull-up bar, that's a good price. You can like disassemble it, so it doesn't take up that much space in a box. I would definitely pick it up. So I'm going to let the footage roll through the rest of this garage sale. If you guys see anything, please let me know.
This is my forte.
Oh, okay. This is a bag?
Morning. So at the next garage sale, I head into the garage, kind of see what they have here. As I'm heading in, I didn't really notice this before, but on that left-hand side, those Budweiser signs right there to the left, those could have been worth some money. I didn't even think about looking at those. But I pick up this Maxwell tape right here, and those can go for some pretty good money, especially if you can get them at a cheap price. Usually I try to lot those up, so I try to get a whole bunch of them. It looks like there was only one right here, but I decided to scan it on the eBay app, take a look, see how much it's worth. There was only one of these tapes here, so I decided to leave it. Like I said, usually you want to try to get them in a bulk, and you can just lot them all up together. So I head inside, and I start looking at this cassette player right here. So they want $5 for it. Looks older, obviously, because it's a cassette player. So I decided, let me go ahead and take a look at it. So I pull up the eBay app, take a look at it, and just type in the model number, and then kind of see what pops up. And then always make sure to go to the sold listings, because just because something is listed for a high price doesn't necessarily mean it's going to sell for that price. So anybody can ask anything when they list something, but it's all about the solds. So I look at it here, and I'm like, all right, it looks okay, but let me see what's going on with the solds. So I click on the solds, and I see it's only going for like $12, $17. So I'm like, okay, if I'm going to get into it for $5, I'll probably pass on it. So I decided to take a look at this camera that's over here, that's in the case. So I'm going to kind of slide it out, check out the model number, check out the condition of it. And I mean, it looks pretty good. Like a lot of things, like I said, I'm just not 100% sure, so I always look. It doesn't hurt to take a look, and you'd be surprised that some of the things that you think aren't worth anything are worth a lot of money. So then I take a look at the camera next to it as well, kind of see what's going on in there. So I pull that out, but decide that they want a little bit too much money for that one, so I'm going to pass on them. So as I'm on the hunt for Stacy, I stop in this bedroom, so I kind of take a look at the closet. If there's any blankets in there or anything, but I see these hats, so I'm going to kind of look at the hats real quick. That one's pretty dirty. I don't really see anything that, stands out to me. So I decide to thumb through the jackets real quick. So I'm looking at them, anything standing out. Then I see this kind of ugly Christmas sweater. Thought that was kind of unique, but decided to pass on it. And then there's Stacy. She's over here and she's asking me to look at this ice skating rink. She already pulled up some comps on it. So she hands me her phone and the comps are already there. So I'm kind of looking through it. I'm like, all right, well, this looks pretty good. So I'm kind of double checking, making sure that these are like recent solds, that they aren't sold from 4 months ago. So everything is kind of checking out right here. So I'm like, all right, looks pretty good. So I decide to kind of take a closer look at it to see exactly, what it is. I think there's supposed to be like flags with it. They go in these little holes. On this picture, see there's like flags here. So maybe not.
No, there's some flags right there.
How do you think it works? Yeah, 25. So those work. So I wasn't really sure if I was going to get this ice skating rink. I kept going back and forth with it, but the music did work and the little ice skating figures had the magnets on the bottom, so they stuck to the ice skating rink. So $25, it's a little pricey, so Stacy and I are going to try to get it for a little bit cheaper.
Could you do $20 on this? It's marked at 25.
Sure.
Awesome. Do we pay you or?
You can pay me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Thank you.
So as we're leaving this garage sale outside, this guy has these shelving units, these plastic shelving units. So, it's always good to try to pick some of these up, especially, to store items for your inventory, get them off the ground, things like that. So we're kind of talking with the guy, asking how much he wants for them. And then it was a good thing that we stood out here and talked with this guy about the shelving units, because the lady that we just bought the ice skating rink from, she came out of the garage and handed us the manual, the booklet for the ice skating rink, which wasn't in the box. So that was really nice. So, it's always great to have the manual and everything with an item, especially a used item. On these crates right here, would you do 10 for both of them?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, listen, we got to go out to dinner. You don't go out to dinner?
Thanks, Bert.
Thanks, man. Yeah. All right, we'll come right back and grab these. So the next day, I head over to a different garage sale first thing in the morning. In the ad, it said that they had some video games. It didn't specify which video games or if there was consoles or anything. So I head over there, I get there first thing in the morning, and oh my gosh, I am just like super pumped. I got a Nintendo GameCube. I think there's like 5 controllers there. The GameCube was priced a little high. I think that they wanted $65 for it. It did have the 2 memory cards in it and had all the cables, so I'm just like super pumped. I'm like, okay, I need to get everything into my bag and then I can look at it a little bit later. So here I am, I'm just kind of grabbing everything. The controllers right here, they were $5 a piece. I always try to do like a bundle deal, so I'm gonna ask if, maybe they'll kind of bundle everything together if I buy it all. But I think $5 for controllers, it's pretty fair priced. So I'm kind of just grabbing everything. I'm not really paying attention or looking at anybody else. In my mind, I'm just like, I need to get everything in my bag before somebody else comes and kind of grabs everything. So now I'm kind of thumbing through the games, seeing if there's any, good games. So I pull out, Mario Party 7 right there. There's a Pokemon game, which, I think is pretty good. I really didn't play Pokemon when I was younger. Mario Kart's always a good one. And I'm just kind of cruising through and seeing if there's anything else. Oh, I can find Super Smash Brothers here. I'm like, come on, this is so great. And then I pull out a Mario Golf game. And there's a FIFA game there. And what's this one? Oh, SpongeBob SquarePants. So I put all the games that I know that I'm familiar with in the bag. And I'm going to take a look at everything a little bit later. I'm on the table still. I pick up an AV cord, so I can use those for DVD players a lot of times. So I pick that up. I'm kind of looking through the games one more time real quick. And as I said, my heart's racing. I'm just trying to get through stuff as quick as I can. Try to pick out things that I know. There's a Mario baseball there. I open it up. There's nothing in it. I'm like, uh-oh, that's not a good sign. I hope these games, like Smash Brothers, have the game inside of it. So I kind of go through again. There's a Donkey Kong game. So I'm like, oh, I'm not really sure about that. And then I look through one more time. There's the FIFA, SpongeBob. So then underneath the table, I find this VHS player. It's a Magnavox, so I'm looking at it, and it was marked $5. So usually if VHS players or DVD players are pretty low price, like $5, you know, I'll pick it up. But I decided to pull comps on it, so I get the phone out. This is a Magnavox MVR 440, and the comps were like $49 plus $20 shipping, $34 plus $30 shipping. So for $5, I mean, I can flip that for, you know, about 50 bucks, 40, 50 bucks. So plus shipping. So I was like, all right, I'm going to pick this up for $5. Now I'm looking at Super Monkey Ball. I'm like, all right, I don't really know about Monkey Ball, but I'm going to put it in my bag real quick. There's an extra, not sure what that was, like a memory card thing, but I knew it went to the GameCube, so I snagged that as well.
I put this under the table.
Yeah, put it under. Nice.
Like,
Or after I put the VHS player underneath the table, it was so nice of them to hold that for me. I kind of looked through the rest of the house. I just saw that DVD player, but it was way overpriced. It was like 50 bucks for that one. So it's kind of crazy how one is worth $5 and then one is worth $50 at the same, you know, garage sale. So then I head over into the garage. I'm kind of looking around, seeing if there's anything in here. I see those chairs in the back corner, and those look really nice, but those were priced pretty high. So I decided to leave those. And then I'm looking at this Weber grill, and I know Weber, you know, makes really good grills, but they wanted too much money for that as well, so I had to leave that. So I head back inside, and I go back over to the games, and I'm like, you know what, I need to check these games. So I'm checking out this Tiger Woods game. It only goes for like $8, so I'm like, $8, and they want $4 for the GameCube game, so I'm gonna have to pass on that one. So next up, I grab this Need for Speed Carbon game. So I get the eBay app out, scan it real quick. You know, I make sure I go to the sold listings, especially if like the listings that are there are really high. I always have to go to the sold listings. So I'm checking right here. It's not going for that much. It's going for like $14. So if I'm getting into it for $4 and it only sells for $14 after eBay fees and all that, it's probably not really worth it. So I decided against it. Good thing, because the disc wasn't in there anyways. So then I checked this Donkey Kong Konga game. So, you know, got the app out, scanning it again, taking a look, and that one just wasn't really worth that much as well. So I decided to leave that. Then I'm looking at this Dora the Explorer game, and in my mind I'm like, what if Dora the Explorer is just so great? So listed, they were like at $5. So I didn't even bother going to the sold for that, because if they're only listed for $5, it's not worth that much. So passed on that. Next up, I take a look at this SpongeBob SquarePants. So I'm looking this one up, and it's kind of listed for high. It's like $40. So I'm like, all right, let me check the solds real quick. And the solds were going for like 25, 30 bucks. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take this one. It didn't have the manual, but it had the disc. So I was like, all right, I'll snag this one. So next up was another golf game. It's Tiger Woods PGA 2005. So I'm looking at that. I'm like, all right, let's scan this one. So scan it with the eBay app. Pulls up. I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, not really sure. Let me go to the sold listings real quick, see what they're selling for. And a lot of times you got to make sure when you're looking at sold listings, you're looking at what's most recent. So this was going for about 12 bucks. So at $4 in, just wasn't really worth it. So then I decided to look through all the games again, and at the very back there's these two Blockbuster games. So I'm like, God, Blockbuster, bringing back some memories. Well, nothing in that one, so I was kind of bummed out about that. And then next there was another SpongeBob game, which had the disc and the manual. So I decided to look that up. So I'm looking at what's listed there. So, you know, what's listed looks like a pretty good price. So I'm like, all right, well, let me go ahead and check the solds, make sure they're selling now, recently. So I go to the sold menu on the eBay app, pull it up, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh man, like $9, $12. If I'm getting into it for $4, I'm probably gonna have to pass. And it didn't even have the original case. It did have the manual in the game, but so I decided to leave it. So now I decide to look through all the games that I have. So all right, I got the SpongeBob game, the Madden. I'm not really sure what that one was called. I got the Super Monkey Ball 2, Mario Golf. I got Super Smash Brothers right there. So I'm kind of checking, making sure the discs are in the games. So the Mario Golf game had the manual and the disc. So now I'm going to check out Super Smash Brothers. It's in there and it has the manual. I'm pumped about it. Check the back of the disc. It looks pretty good. There's a little bit of scratches, but nothing major. So I was super pumped about that. So now I'm checking the back of all the discs as well, because if the discs aren't in good condition and they won't play, then, you know, the game's pretty much worthless. I mean, there is a little bit of value in the case. There's Mario Kart. Gosh, the game is not in there. I'm like, come on. So I'm super bummed out about that. So I'm like, I might as well check all these games. Pokemon had the manual and the game. Checking the back of it, or I'm trying to check the back of it. It's kind of in there, a little bit tight. All right, and the back of the disc looks pretty good. So I'm like, all right, you know, not horrible. Put that back in there, continue on, check the other games. Then I remembered, oh, I didn't scan this game, so I really don't know how much it goes for. So I'm like, well, let me do that real quick. So the comps were looking really good. They're like $80, $70, just depending on the condition and if it had the manual. So I was really happy with that, especially only buying it for $4. Now I'm checking this Mario Party 7, looking at comps here. And the comps are looking like about 40 bucks is what it was listed for. So it has the manual, checking the disc again, making sure it's not all scratched up. It looks good, so I'm like, all right, great. Pumped up about that. And then I'm going to check out FIFA 07 real quick, see if that's worth anything. So as I open up the FIFA 07 game, boom, I got 2 games in there, the Need for Speed Carbon and FIFA 07. So I'm like, all right, so there's that Need for Speed Carbon game. So I'm like, all right, I need to look it up again because I forgot how much it goes for. And then when I scan it again, I was like, oh yeah, that's right, it only goes for about $14. So I decided to leave that. So then I go back to checking this FIFA 07. So I'm going to scan the barcode there and see how much it's worth. When I pulled it up, I was a little disappointed. It was only worth, about $5 to $10. So not that much value there, especially when you're buying into it for $4. So decided to leave that as well. So you guys can't really see because my knee gets in the way, but I end up opening up the GameCube itself, and all of the extra games that weren't in the other games were in the GameCube. So like Super Monkey Ball, that Mario baseball game is right there. So I'm like, all right. So then I started putting all the games back into their cases. So now that I found these extra games that go in these cases, I'm going to start scanning them. So Mario Baseball, I'm like, all right, well, I have the game now. So I start comping it. Go to the sold listings, and it's selling for like, $35, $45. So I'm like, okay, I'll be taking that one. So I was really excited about that. So like I said, all the games were in the GameCube itself. So I was super pumped. I got Mario Kart Double Dash, and I know that one's worth money. So I didn't really even bother looking that one up. All right, guys, well, I think we had a pretty good weekend, but I'm going to go ahead and show you everything that we picked up. Alright, so we had a pretty great day, garage selling these past couple days. That estate sale with the Nintendo GameCube was phenomenal. Like I said, I was super excited to find that. I wasn't really sure what to expect because, like I said, on the listing it said it was just video games. I didn't know what kind of video games would be there, so awesome score. I'm probably going to keep the Nintendo GameCube just because I collect video games and I don't have a Nintendo GameCube. But as you guys saw, I sold a lot of those video games, which will pay for that GameCube. That was $65. So I believe all in for the GameCube, all the controllers, and the games that I bought, I was sitting about $120. I made that back by selling 2 or 3 video games. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.